It's game 2 of exhibition season, and final, for the most part, people call it tune-up, but I think it's an opportunity for us to find out a little bit more about our basketball team and get them out there with officials and fans, and get more into a playing setting in their mind, and hopefully it'll give me an opportunity to figure out the guys that. So let's probably. When you look at Friday, you're a week away from opening up, so got to have some guys in mind who are going to be playing and who are going to be the core guys. And so this game here will give me another opportunity to see these guys in that setting. So I'm anxious to see him playing against Southwest Baptist School, coached by Shihab, and his dad was the coach at John Brown. Really sharp young coach, and his team already played a game at Cape Girardeau. They played Southeast Missouri State, played until probably about I think it was a close game for the most part. So again, I'm more interested in what we're doing, and can we put 2 halves together. The other night, I thought against Tusculum, I thought we, for the first half, we kind of, well, you saw it, we didn't take care of the basketball, so we got to clean that up. Then of course, free throw line, we were Linda said, the free throw line, especially in the first half. Second half, I thought we settled down and played like we've been practicing for the most part. So I want to see a continuation of that second half versus that first half, and again, see if our guys can come out defensively and rebound better, be a little more physical, around the basket, scoring from that department, and get it to our defenses. So again, this is the last exhibition game, and then it's for real after that.
Hey, Michael, what are you seeing from Jalen Harris since practice started, and what do you, like, how do you think he played the other night? Just how do you think he's doing, and what are you expecting from him?
I think it's his time to hopefully go out and try to lead a team. I see a guy that's looking forward to the opportunity to do that. He's worked extremely hard in practice and off season. In terms of shooting the basketball and ball handling and leadership. I think that's going to be a big part of what he does. Some of that's going to be back down. I thought the other night, he was playing too fast early in the early part of the game. He got fouled, got a couple of fouls, hand checking, trying to do things real fast. The second half, we saw the impact he can have on the game, whether it be distributing the basketball, harassing on defense, rebounding. He's pretty athletic too. He's kind of sneaky athletic if you don't watch him. So, but I think he'd be great, with the pressure defense, with the understanding of, you got to have patience. And what I mean by patience is that you're not trying to steal every pass. You're just trying to disrupt. And the more he does that and have the patience, then I think it's going to trickle with our team, because the other guys are watching him. Keyshawn, Isaiah Joe, those guys are watching him in terms of what he's doing. Dez. So again, he's in an important spot. I'll tell you that. And so hopefully he can lead by example in terms of how he plays.
Just with the first game, Gafford already having the foul trouble, how kind of important is that to get him in that happy medium where you play aggressive, but don't get in early foul trouble?
Well, his fouls, I thought they were kind of lazy fouls, really. I think some of them were like jumping sideways when a guy come in there, and obviously now if you're in that lane, you can jump straight up. I mean, with his length at 6'11", jumping straight up, especially within that arc, that plays into his advantage. So and I think he probably got one with his hands pushing behind there. It's important that he understands that, and so we had a chance to watch some tape. We had the head official, Mark Whitehead, came in and talked to our guys for about 15 minutes about do's and don'ts of what they're going to be emphasizing this year, and I thought that was beneficial to our guys. He's in a different position now, and obviously he's got to understand the value that he has to our basketball team, and just play smarter. I think that's the biggest key. Play smarter. You said there's a thin line. You play hard and smart, and he's got to do both of those.
Hey, Mike, you guys fell behind 8-0 the other night, kind of came out slow. The guys were talking about jitters. Do you think with this being the second exhibition game, maybe there'll be less of that with all the new guys?
I'm looking for them to have a continuance of that second half. Be aggressive, be in attack mode, take good shots, get to the offensive glass. We got to the free throw line, just got to make free throws. So the way we play it is a game of runs. It's a game of runs, and so if we can continue to have 10-0 runs, 8-2 runs. Again, you said we got behind 8-0. I think we went up 12 or 13-12 or something like that. So that was a run there. So the way we play is a game of runs, and with us playing so many guys, you'll see that. But we just got to have a continuance of what took place the other night, and just go out and do the things we do in practice every day.
And with such an inexperienced team, can they make a big change from last week to like in a week's time? Can they make a lot of improvement just because there's so much ceiling for them?
Well, you hope to, Bob. I think from game 1 to game 2, they actually had an opportunity to go against someone other than themselves, and so I thought Tuscan came out and played much harder than we did early on. I really did, and they were real physical with the loose balls down on the floor. So it gives these guys a sense of understanding, and you got to play with that sense of urgency. From when you get out there, don't take it for granted the minutes that you get out there. Like I said, I'm just trying to create some habits in their mind that when they go out there, whether it be 2, 3, 4 minutes, give us the hardest, most efficient minutes you can give us. And I think once they create the habits of doing that, and that's what you try to do, create habits in practice where they're doing that, and so they can just take that practice to the game.
Coach, after watching some film, what were some lineup combinations or player pairings that you thought were pretty productive the other night?
What's some of the lineups?
Yeah, some of the lineup combinations or player pairings.
I thought when Gabe came in, Gabe was Samoan, and he fell the other day in his practice. I hope he's effective. Dave England, our trainer, can put some magic on him. He fell and hit his tailbone the other day in practice, but he practiced I think it was Tuesday. We were off Wednesday. But I thought Gabe came in and ignited us. I thought he gave us that new energy guy that he did last year, doing multiple things for us, creating fouls against the opponents, attacking the basket, rebounding the basketball, make some nice passes out there, taking charges. I thought him coming out there injected a lot of energy with our basketball team. I thought Cheney, in the first half when he came off, I thought he came in, was one of those guys playing above the rim, getting offensive rebounds. Got to get better at the free throw line. So again, these guys are getting some seasoning. The combinations, we're going to have about 7 to 8 starters with this team. I say that every year, and it may be true to form. Dez Seals, I thought he was a spark plug out there, on the floor. He had multiple assists, especially with the start that Jalen Harris had. So it was good to see those guys come in and contribute. Adriel, the second half was better than it was the first half. So again, you're getting good minutes from this guy, that guy, first half, second half. Now we got to do both halves. But in terms of the combination, we're still searching. We're still trying to find the guys that when they come out there, they're clicking. They're doing some really good things.
Hey, Mike, you mentioned the other day, I think you were hoping to get Jordan Phillips back maybe for the start of November. I guess this is November. Is he practicing?
I think I said late November.
Oh, okay, so he's still not.
Don't be putting words in my mouth.
Sorry.
I said late November we'll get him back to
Okay.
practicing a little bit.
So he's not practicing yet.
No, he's not.
And then with this being the last exhibition game before, you play Texas, do you shorten your bench at all tomorrow night, or do you still play, pretty much everybody?
I pretty much played the guys, probably play most of the guys. I'll probably give extensive minutes to the guys that are going to be those core guys. And so we'll see how the game goes. But I'm still looking. I'm trying to find the guys that can go out there and perform. It's like Ethan Henderson. He didn't get many minutes the other night. He'll get more minutes to show me what he's capable of doing. So it's going to be one of those situations where you know, as the game unfolds, we'll see who's out there. But I want to get a great look at them and get a little bit more continuity, in terms of the guys that are gonna play. I thought Keyshawn Embry, I thought he gave us some pretty good minutes, especially in the second half, and that was good to see, because he's one of those guys, I think, in practice, you know, just getting in shape because of the injury he had, you know, getting his body in shape and getting everything back in tune. So it's gonna be important that we have multiple guys that are ready to go, ready to come out and play for us.
You get your question about it?
You know, they gotta add,
Okay.
you mentioned
Hey,
changes.
with Jalen Harris, did you guys recruit him out of high school, or kind of how'd you guys end up getting on him?
I think Coach Cleveland was very familiar with him. He played with the John Wall team, and I think it's one of those deals where, you know, our guards were pretty set, and then obviously he was looking to transfer, so we were contacted, and then he ended up here.
You talk about kind of wanting to get your core group ready for Texas. Is it still being determined? I mean, are minutes still pretty, the competition for minutes is still pretty?
Yeah, the
intense?
competitions are. This is audition two, and in terms of the live scrimmage, this is audition two. And I'm talking about in a public setting. I see them every day, so in my mind, I got an idea, but I want to see them, you know, on display when, you know, the lights are on.
Anything else for Coach?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.